1:48 in the morning right now in my time, and I don't usually do a stream this late, and I never really do streams that much, but if I do it earlier than this. But that's besides the point. The point that I'm making is this stream that you're watching right now, whoever is watching, whoever will be watching, is it's gonna be hard for me to explain this because for the past couple of months I've been stressed out. Actually, the past few months I've been stressed out about the election of this year, 2024. There's about 5 days left in the election, and I've just been consuming the news. I get it every day. Consume it, which is a bad thing in itself. But I'm just want to express it on here. I know social media is not the best way to express yourself on. I mean, it is in a way, and it's not. Like, the point is, I'm already voted in this election, and the reason why it's the hardest stream because, whoops, my computer. I've just been browsing on my computer. Sorry, I'm not trying to talk that loud because I just want to send a message out there to the undecided voters, to all my fellow Americans that haven't voted yet or are still undecided about this election. I want to do what's best for you, okay? I'm not trying to deliberately share my political bias with you. It's not politics, it's morals. And politics would be affected in any other way. If it's not as severe as it was now, then I wouldn't be making this. I would keep it to myself. I've kind of joked about it when Donald Trump first ran. It was Trump and Hillary. And I honestly wanted Hillary to win. But Trump won. We all thought Hillary won. But I was skeptical of Trump. And to be honest with you, Donald Trump is one of the single most, I'm trying to put it into words without yelling, the single most worst president in the history of the United States. I say that because he did not only incited a violent mob to the Capitol of January 6th when they were certifying the election results, not only did he pressure his own vice president into becoming a traitor to America, not only did he cover up all these little sexual assault accusations against Stormy Daniels, E. Jean Carroll, and several others from all the way back in the 80s. And he's just, and it's kind of sad for him in the same time because his over 200 plus doctors are worried for his medical health. Honestly, I'm worried because he's just in the center of attention. Trump is not the right choice. That may be my opinion, but Constitution is on the line, if the country's future is on the line, then I want to stand my belief across. I want to send a message to the undecided voters out there. It may be late. It may be 1:54 in the morning. But I'm telling you, this election is one of the most consequential elections in the nation's history. I think I said that in my elections video that I posted less than 24 hours ago. But I meant, I tried to be impartial in that video and try to be factual at the same time. But I'll tell you this. I just want to spread the message across that Donald Trump is not safe as president. He needs to be put in jail. He needs to pay for his crimes. He's a convicted felon. And he's just rambling on about anything that comes up, calling America garbage, a garbage can. What type of president acts like that and lies thousands, tens of thousands of times before? And he wanted to, honestly, I know the politics part kind of irks me, but he wanted to repeal Obamacare. He said that for over 8 years, and he hasn't done it. I don't think he'll never do it. And seeing people, I understand people have their own opinion, but I want to say something right now. Trump supporters, I do respect their opinion. The ones that are nonviolent, I do respect, like respectfully. But the violent ones are the ones that went to the Capitol on January 6th. That's when I watched live with my own eyes. And I thought it was going to be some type of dictatorship because of Donald Trump was going to overturn the election and is saying that now he's possibly going to overturn the election, which honestly is nothing new, but it's still fear-mongering. He called Puerto Rico a comedian said it, called a floating island of garbage. I'm part Puerto Rican. I've descended from Puerto Ricans from that island, and I'm just really it's hard to even come out with this because I know politics is not the one. It's like spreading your dirty laundry on social media, but I just got to get my message across. Kamala Harris actually knows that putting country over party, because Trump has been lying his entire life. Sure, he's actually gotten some success before the 2016 election. He's had an apprentice show. He appeared on The Nanny. He was a businessman. But he had racial slurs all around his neighborhood. So spread racial slurs. I may be misconstruing it, but he's a racist. He's a racist. He's a liar, pathological liar. If you put him in a room, if you stick a lie detector test up to him, the lie detector test will break. I'm serious. I'm not joking right now. If I was joking, then I would be laughing. But I've seen people. I look when I monitor this election, not just news stories, not just news like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, but also talk shows like Jimmy Kimmel, Jon Stewart, and Stephen Colbert. And I just try to hit some more like spark, try to be some positive energy. Just like Kamala says, joy over hate, unity over division. And I just want to make one thing clear. Kamala Harris is going to be the 47th President of the United States. Let me, and if you don't believe me, all, sorry, I'm just trying to bottle up my feelings here and try not to speak so loud. I'm just trying to talk at a monotone, like a little quiet voice. But, okay, I'll tell you where I was. See, this all started. I was monitoring, when I monitor politics, it's pretty neat to kind of look at the primaries and like the polls sometimes, but mainly the primaries and all the different candidates and their different viewpoints and stuff. And in 2016, when Trump ran, I was trying to analyze all the different candidates. Like at the time, if like Ted Cruz, John Kasich, Marco Rubio, uh, Carly Fiorina, Chris Christie, Rick Santorum, all those people on the Republican side, and the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Martin O'Malley, Lincoln Chafee, and Lawrence Messick. Those were on the Democratic side, and I would try to look at that. If there's a primer coming out, I would just watch it, and I would go to an old website that is no longer up called Inside.gov, and I would just look and compare the candidates. And sorry, I'm just trying to keep the lighting here. And basically, just look at their backgrounds and stuff. Like the 2016 election got me into looking at the primaries and elections and politics. But honestly, doesn't mean I didn't want. Doesn't mean I wanted Trump to win. I wanted a woman president. No, there was the person that being a presidential expert. I mean, or at least a presidential nerd. There had never been a woman president. Never. And Hillary Clinton became the Democratic nominee for president. And at that point, I was ecstatic because that has never happened before. Never. And I thought she was going to win. Election day came, and all the electoral votes were getting tallied, coming in, exit polls and stuff. And I went to bed that night looking like Hillary was going to win. And then I woke up the next morning being told by family that Trump won. Initially, I thought I was shocked, but I was kind of skeptical what he was going to do. I remember going to school and watching Trump's inauguration. It was during my language arts class, and we were watching it live, and I was open what Trump was doing, and honestly, I didn't really pay him too much mind until the 2020 election and the pandemic hit. First, the pandemic. We as Americans never had a pandemic in what? Like a global pandemic in like what? Probably over a century ago with the Spanish flu. But the Spanish flu killed like tens of thousands, tens of millions of people. I think. I don't remember the statistic. But it was deadly. And the pandemic killed millions. America was the most hit by it, and I had to wear masks everywhere, and I wanted to save my own health, and I just wanted to stay safe from the virus, which I did, and about 2 years later, about actually a year and a half, 2 years, it went slowly and surely went back to normal. While COVID is still around, it doesn't hit much. You see, what did Trump do during that time? It was recently discovered in Bob Woodward's book War. Disclosed. It was about disclosed conversations between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. And Donald Trump sent the COVID vaccines to Putin, the machines, and they didn't even give it to us. The vaccines that we needed. That's a health emergency, basically. Again, a cure for COVID with the different variants. With the different variants, and that just learning about that now pisses me off. This is my first election ever voting, and I vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because we are not going back. We are not going back to a time before the U.S. was born to have under a king. And I just don't want that. And again, I apologize if people are not, if they want to distance themselves from me because of my political affiliation. I understand that political affiliation is not to be spread on the internet, or at least too widely. But I'll say this. And hold on. I need to keep doing this. Hold on 1 second. And here's the thing. Donald Trump lied about everything, basically. He lied about the FEMA response for Hurricane Helene. He lied about he just keeps lying. He lied that he's the best president, better than Lincoln. Oh, go kiss my ass. Because, see, I'm not going to even want to see him in the office of president. And when it was the election of 2016, I was 13. I'm 21 now. I'm old enough to drink. That's how time passed by. And first vote ever was for Kamala Harris. And Harris wants to return to normalcy in politics. And wants to return to normal. Escape this hate and tyranny that Trump brings. And again, I don't want to. I honestly originally didn't want to do this. But I just wanted to be said. Wanted to be heard out there. Because Trump does not care about you. Trump only cares about himself. And again, I just mentioned, he's in some type of health, some type of decline. Doctors are worried about him. He hasn't exposed his medical records. Kamala Harris already sent out hers medical records, and she's healthy, happy and healthy. She may laugh. She can be funny. She can be serious. And I honestly think she'll be the President of the United States. No doubt in my mind. Because, see, Tim Walz is basically a true American patriot. He is served in the armed forces. He is a social studies teacher. He's a congressman. He was a governor. And he stood up for LGBTQ rights. He stood up for people that couldn't afford the food from the cafeteria. And compared to J.D. Vance, who's kind of a political newcomer, kind of a rookie, who hated Donald Trump, opposed Donald Trump in the past, in 2016. He called him America's Hitler. Basically, compared him to Hitler. Which, hold on, I got this book. This book was made by Trump's niece. I was reading some of it, and I learned that his early childhood, it was exposed, kind of personal one, that his father basically didn't really care about his children that much, or at least as a father would. And their mother was away, and their mother was ill. They got hurt, and his father, Fred, took over and just treat him not even like a kind of like a no-nonsense parent. But Fred was a ruthless businessman, just like his son. And you see, he was a bully growing up. And he's a bully now. And we don't need a bully as president. We don't need a sexual abuser as president. We don't need a convicted felon as president. He'll start World War III. Honestly, when Joe Biden dropped out after the debate, honestly, I was sad and relieved at the same time, where Kamala came onto the stage and dazzled us with joy, with positivity, with grace. And I'm glad that she's the nominee. And she is fit for the job. And I'm glad that Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris to put our way, to chart our way forward. We're not just turning the page on Donald Trump. We're not just going to turn the page on Donald Trump. We're going to write a new chapter in the American story that no one is going to expect. But there's people. You want people degrading you. There's no place for tyranny. The Constitution does not allow any type of tyranny. And the United States will not tolerate any type of tyranny. But also, his supporters are really insane. The Trump supporters. I was watching 60 Minutes with Kamala Harris, where she was on, and he was explaining in Maricopa County there was a clerk, there was a worker in Maricopa County in Arizona. He got voicemails from Trump supporters, like real MAGA Trump supporters, and basically said, "Oh, I appreciate you searching your opinion. Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna kill you." And like, do we need to act like that? Should we even act like that? Threats? Is that what we resulted to? Threats? Is that what we even want to convey a message to the possible future generations of people? There was Donald Trump. One thing, Donald Trump was doing a rally and brought his grandchild on the stage, on the podium. Not the grandchildren, not knowing that grandpa was not really doing well, or not mentally right, or just somewhat bad. They don't know that. Sure, they love them, but in the future, they'll know why he's like this. People say Trump's a fascist. People say stuff like Hitler. He idolizes Hitler, idolizes dictators. He wants to be a dictator on day one. And all those sayings, I 100% agree. America was not built on the values of one man and only one man. It was on the values of we the people. For the people, by the we the people, by the people, for the people. We the people, by the people, for the people. The people. It's not one person. It's not Kim Jong-un. It's not Vladimir Putin. It is not any dictatorship. And Trump exaggerates everything. Listen, I'm not gonna say it again. The radical left lunatics, they're all the enemy within, and there is all of them are so radical. They should be jailed. All the journalists, all the fake news hosts, they're all gonna go in jail. All of them that oppose me, all of them are gonna go to jail. jailing the press, that just violates the First Amendment. So you are honestly going to jail journalists, Americans, deport American illegal immigrants, and you think you're going to blame them for the hurricane? The hurricane is just a common sense issue. It shouldn't be a political issue, but Trump does make it a political issue. And it says, calls America a garbage can. And Trump, there's one word to describe you. And as Nixon would say. To people who are watching this live or later, I deeply apologize of the stream that I've ever gazed upon you. I didn't really originally want to make this, but it was just consuming me, like, wholeheartedly. It's just like the 2020 Final Four election kind of building fear inside of me, stress, anxiety, that even the thought of Trump being in again would possibly be the end of America as a nation. I'm sorry to all the people that gotten to hear this, but this is an encouraging message. Do you want joy? Do you want unity? Do you want people to work together? No matter who they side with, Kamala Harris is for you. Kamala Harris is not a person that needs to be taken lightly. Trump tries to turn the narrative and says that Harris is she is the liar. She is plotting retribution. After January 6th, after he was banned off Twitter, and no, I'm not going to call it X. I'm going to call it Twitter. Okay? He created a website called Truth Social. And Truth Social and exploit uses that as a shield. Trump used Truth Social as a shield to tell all his lies. And he's been a polarizing figure since 2015. And for the people that are Democrat, Republican, Independent, and if you just watch, I understand. I understand you. I understand you don't really like me explaining all of this to you. But I just want to encourage people to go to the polls, go to vote, because as it pains me, I don't want people to leave just because of my political views. Because I want to be stuck up for America. I was born an American, and I'm acting like an American. And this is a part of history, and I want to be part of history. And Trump is going to be history. Trump's going to go to jail. Trump's going to pay Stormy Daniels. Trump is going to face the fullest extent of the law for being a convicted felon of 34 counts. And furthermore, I just want to say, for the people that are voting Donald Trump, just watch his rallies, because they'll explain. They won't talk about policies. He won't talk about any of your issues. He'll just talk about himself and his personal stories, made up stories. And he's saying he refuses to even admit to losing the 2020 election. Refuses to admit you lose the 2020 election. And honestly, doing this stream right now, if I lose any subscribers, honestly, it saves to me though. I don't want to lose subscribers. But if it's just the expense of that, it wouldn't be American to even express my feelings about it. Even if it is inconvenient to. I just want somebody to talk to in regards to the matter. And I want to spread a message. I want, if anybody's watching this, share it to friends and family that are undecided or on the fence about this election. And put country over party, because putting country over party will put people back to the way they were before Trump was in politics in the first place in 2016. And also, there's also a concern for Donald Trump. The reason why, hold on 1 second. The reason why I'm coming forward with this and not saying stuff right now is because that Donald Trump is a danger to the society, to Americans, to himself, and probably even to his family. And people should be concerned for his mental health, just like people thought, like they did with Biden. Sure, Biden has his not mental, but like, he's getting old. He's 82. But Trump is 78. Not that old, not that much older. And Kamala Harris is going to take us forward. And see, it's just always just some negativity trying to divide us. We don't need division. Trump is just one big, gigantic, cult internet troll that is just trying to play mind games with the American people. And this election is going to be the most consequential, because there is always a way that people are going to express themselves. You see, the recent news about in Washington and Oregon, the states of Washington and Oregon, there was a story that there was people that went up to the ballot box and burned the ballots inside the ballot box. And then, in Arizona, there was a USPS mailbox that was set on fire. said that they were connected too. You know, Kamala Harris is not perfect, but she is the better alternative than a lying Trump. You know, my grandfather, God rest his soul, said of Trump, and he said of him, quote, he's just a man that doesn't lie down, that won't lie down. And I honestly think he just refuses to take responsibility for the stuff that about Puerto Ricans. Like I'm part Puerto Rican in my blood. I have family in Puerto Rico, or at least from Puerto Rico. And that just bitters me to the core. That people, which even has some significance, that people know the names of them, endorsed Trump, like Roseanne Barr, Buzz Aldrin, Lil Pump. I don't get that mindset, really. See, Kamala Harris has all those big endorsements, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Magic Johnson, Willie Nelson, Stevie Wonder, Samuel L. Jackson. Fran, what am I yapping about? I'm glad you asked that. It's about the current election stuff. I just didn't really want to express it because I thought I would lose subscribers that way. Lose people. Didn't really want people to listen, or didn't want people to hear about it. And it's just been stressing me out. And I just wanted people to talk to and express and send a message to people. That's what I was yapping on about, Fran. And I appreciate you coming to the stream. I appreciate that. Do you care? Elections don't affect you in any way. Get real life big many feels. Why do I care? Well, I care because of the stuff. It's not even to do with politics, it's morals. It's morals. It does affect me in a way. Why focus on nonsense that has no effect on your life? Yeah, it does have effect on our life. It does affect game of the deleted. I respect your opinion, but it does affect Americans' lives. Directly or indirectly. Don't get stuck on the moral cycle. No one is fully. Don't get stuck on that moral cycle. No one is fully pure. Morally right. I understand your concern, but I understand that you don't want me to express about it. You're human, and as humans, we flawed. Period. Move. Politics is dumb, low power. Hold those positions. Fran. I know politics is not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody likes to talk about it. Cons and pros, who cares? Yeah, but If the other side has more cons than pros, then why just there's one choice? That's what I'm saying. Okay? That's what I'm saying. I know both sides of the spectrum. But it has an effect that just resonates with me. Okay? Okay? And I appreciate your concern that that you don't want me to talk about it. That don't want me to be bothered by it. But I know. Resonate, sure, that is okay. So why be down on it? Well, it's all in the news. And you can't really escape the news in this type of in this type of time frame. And when you're saying let us hear it, I'll hear you out. I'll hear you out. Okay, what are you saying? Let us hear it. Okay. The reason why it is on effect on me because all the recent stuff about Trump and see Trump is known to being a liar. A lot of people sometimes, politics is sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, which I understand. But he lies to a super degree. He lies. Everything he says is a lie, and he says that Americans, he wants to get the military to attack Americans go after people that oppose him. And people try to defend him. And it's honestly not working. And the last thing to blow, he had a rally in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And something that pissed me off is he condoned somebody that came onto stage and said that Puerto Rico was a floating island of garbage. How so? Proven fact back up those claims that he is a liar. You have ready evidence at your disposal. Back this up. Well, if you want me to back it up, then I can show you. Okay? Alright, Fran. So, he is a liar. I'm gonna show you when he's a liar. So he spread the lie about FEMA. There is even like a certain page to his Wikipedia about lies. There is a chart that somebody made. Here's a part of this Wikipedia page. I know it is not as a... I'll show you this. See, false and misleading statements. It says tallied over, basically it says 30,573 false or misleading statements. That is the evidence. And here's a chart somebody made. And the reason why he doesn't want to do another debate with Kamala is because he doesn't want to be fact checked. And he doesn't want to be... I'm trying to get the words out here. He doesn't want to be prosecuted for it. He's a convicted felon. And he's trying to delay his court cases so he could pardon himself and replace people in the Department of Justice when he's elected with loyalists that kiss up to him. Historically, they called that the spoil system. But it's a bigger degree than that. On January 6th, I lost all respect for Donald Trump. All respect out of the window. And he's not really American. He calls America garbage. He called America a garbage can. You mean Capitol Hill thing? Yes. That's what I mean, January 6th, yeah. That is the Capitol Hill thing. Yes. Everybody saw that. And 3 years later, there's people that still believe him. People went to jail for him. Over like a few thousand people showed up there and just destroyed the building, destroyed windows. And you saw it live. And I don't know why people still believe him that the 2020 election was stolen. It was never stolen. I mean, throughout history, that the election, people say that is a rigged election. That's nothing new. But they eventually concede. Trump didn't concede. He wasn't at Biden's inauguration. He pressured Mike Pence, his own vice president, to not certify the election results. And the things to back this up is that the recent Jack Smith filings that was brought on the election subversion case. Do you know his foreign policy is all in very good detail to compare to Kamala, and it was to analyze both sides of each other's plans so they can draw out your own idea as who's the better one. Well, I've seen a lot of rallies, seen a lot of what Donald Trump is made of. He wanted to make his foreign policies. He wants to get a tariff. He wants to get 200% tariff or 200% off. He wants to have imported goods cost more, adding to the national debt ceiling. And immigration policy, that's one big policy to him is immigration. But in 2022, when Biden was in, there was a bipartisan border bill, immigration bill, that added more, like 15,000, I think, more border security workers at the border. And Trump called them up and said, no, don't do it. And don't support the bill. He persuaded them. Okay, I can understand immigration, how controversial it is. Let's put one's talk aside and not about the other plans. Well, so what Kamala Harris is going to do with immigration is see the reason why I picked Kamala wasn't paying like attention to the politics. It was more moral. You have to know both sides of each other's policies. Accurate view. Well, see, Kamala wants to have to give $25,000 down payment assistance to first-time homebuyers. He wants to get, was it $50,000 to small businesses to help to start a business. She wants to get try to push for a nationwide price gouging to prevent like sneaky corporations to take advantage of people during stressful times like hurricanes. Donald Trump, his plan put in place that he's trying to deport tens of millions of illegal immigrants. He exaggerates. He doesn't have a plan. He wanted to try to get rid of Obamacare. He hasn't done it. He always says that it wasn't getting rid of, to be honest. Can you repeat that again with the hurricane thing? I didn't quite understand there. Okay. So, are you talking about lies about the hurricane? Or are you talking about the stuff about the price gouging? So nationwide price gouging, like ban on price gouging, trying to making sure that sneaky corporation that want to make like a few more bucks, not going to take advantage of desperate. The aid and belt price thing. Yeah, it's the price gouging, not preventing sneaky corporations to get more, trying to take advantage of customers during desperate times of need. As a comparison, Donald Trump, you see, it was put in back in 2018 during Hurricane Maria. I learned that he didn't actually help Puerto Rico in the hurricane. Like hiring prices, yeah, like upping, like upscaling the prices. That's basically what it was. And during hurricane relief, during Hurricane Helene, Donald Trump blamed, so he lied about, Biden's not doing enough. FEMA is using the dollars of relief to go to illegal immigrants, which is not true. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, another Republican, says that Democrats control the weather. And even that politics, that's not even politics. That's just nonsense. No one controls the weather. But back to the price. But back to the thing. The reason why I like Kamala is like she brings joy, she brings character, she brings compassion. Everybody's hyped up. She recently had a rally in DC at the Ellipse and had over 75,000 people there. As a closing argument, that's a lot. And then Madison Square Garden, there's people that were there, like well, it's possible, but no real sources. This point falls under conspiracy. Well, conspiracy is what conspiracy? Can you give me like a point and I'll prove it out? Under conspiracy, it is not conspiracy. I can prove it to you. So let's see. I just look up these policy issues here. I'll just show you. And, where's Oh, the weather thing. That falls into this conspiracy. Oh, yeah, the control the weather thing you're talking about? Yeah. I mean, it is, like, far-fetched conspiracy. It's no proof. There's no real proof. Because if people controlled the weather, then it would be a different Earth. You know, we wouldn't get hurricanes if people controlled the weather. But yeah. Um, see, during the debate, during the debate between Trump and Kamala last month in September, see, Kamala owned him, by the way, but I agree. I don't think it's possible, but it's definite possible in the advanced future. Um, it's possible as of now, but it's definitely possible in the advanced future. You mean, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the price gouging stuff, or are you talking about something else, like the weather thing? If we helped, like, how we, like, with the carbon footprint, trying to reduce our carbon footprint. Yeah, I mean, we got to help reduce our carbon footprint, and just, climate change is real. Trump says climate change is a hoax. Um, hold on. I'm just gonna do this for sake. Oh wait, I can't. I'm just, yeah. But where were we? It's not a hoax. That's just ignorance, of course. Ignorance. Yeah, climate change is real. It's not like we're getting, like, global warming. Like, it's getting hotter slowly but surely every year. That's a fact. Like, sometimes even colder temperatures. That is, like, he over exaggerates the crowd size that Donald Trump does. And I'm just looking at his little Truth Social, and I'm not saying that's just I'm not going on his Truth Social because I support him. It's because I just want to see what he's saying, because he uses Truth Social as a safeguard to post what he wants without any without any repercussions. It says, okay, I'm looking at this here. This what's it called? A quote, a little a truth that on this website on Truth Social. One of them is posted 4 hours ago. He rambles on Truth Social. This is 4 hours ago. It's 2:53 a.m. right now, and it's been posted 4 hours ago. So 12 a.m. So he's been going on, probably staying up in the middle of the night and posting stuff. He said, quote, "For the past 9 years, Kamala and her party have called us racist, bigots, fascist, deplorable, irredeemable, and they call me Hitler. They've taken your money. They've thrown open our borders to criminals. They've sent our blood and treasure to fight in stupid foreign wars. This Tuesday is your chance to stand up and declare you are not going to take it anymore. Vote." And if this is what he said right there. To Here's the backup. That point here. See, um, it's not just he's lying about that because, see, his vice president is not going to vote for him. His national security advisor, John Bolton, is not going to vote for him. Mark Milley's not going to vote for him. John Kelly calls him fascist to the core, or Mark Milley, one of those two, call him fascist to the core. And people from his own administration don't want him in anymore, don't want him in the White House. Because it could be detrimental to the entire country. That's why. And he had people like, what's his name? Hulk Hogan at his Madison Square Garden rally. Hulk Hogan is well, I've known him from wrestling as a wrestling fan, but Hulk Hogan is a pathological liar, just like Trump. He lies, over exaggerates about stuff. He lied about movie roles. He lied about an injury, about like broken ribs. He blamed The Undertaker for possibly breaking his neck, which that didn't happen because it was he was just lying to just save himself. He's an egotistical. And see, I watch like different Midas Touch, like Left Wing, which is it's not to see my interest, and because see, I watch Midas Touch because they're trying to look at the stuff that is not being seen at the normal news. But there was this thing called the McDonald's. He went to McDonald's and worked like a half an hour shift, and he was serving the customers. That sounds courageous, right? Wrong. It was found out that it was all staged. It was all rehearsed. It was an organized event with some of his MAGA supporters. Is the Midas Touch reported on all this stuff? I'm just looking at the stuff about what's it called? The January 6th case. Where it's just like the stuff where it's like court filing that Trump has a lot of court dates, but he's trying to the lawyers and Trump and his lawyers are trying to delay him after the election until before the election because he doesn't want to sway. He doesn't want it to be corrupt and go after them and just he wants to plot retribution, and he is going to, in my opinion at least, because he said that he called Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi, fellow Democrats, but also Americans, the enemy from within. He's like, the enemy from within, the worst, even worse than Russia and China. Well, of course it is organized. He has no time to do things at his free time, but he has no free time during his campaign. I mean, yeah, he doesn't. Honestly, he doesn't really have free time. He doesn't have any free time, but I feel like he does in the same time because he just kind of rambles on Truth Social. Let me look at here. He's just Team Trump. I think it was in Michigan. There was a rally in Michigan that he was doing a interview with. Said none of them have both Kamala and Donald don't have time. Kamala, I understand like trying to get interviews and trying to hype up supporters, trying to hype them up to vote for you. I get Kamala. Trump, I feel like it's the same thing, but come on. He's just, honestly, I feel like he's just not really fit for the job, to be honest, because there's like 200 plus doctors after a town hall that stopped. Um, he stopped it. He was supposed to take a couple more questions, and then he stopped and kind of swayed on stage for about 40 minutes. And just didn't want to take any more questions. But back to the Joe Rogan thing. He had a podcast with Joe Rogan. He was doing a podcast with Joe Rogan. Had like a 3-hour podcast. And he told the people in Ann Arbor, Michigan, you gotta wait there. Please wait for me. 2 hours to like 3 hours later, he arrives. And see, there's another thing. There's at some Trump rallies, people walk out of his rallies. He's speaking. There's video proof of like on news programs like CNN, and I trust CNN because it's really like it's my style. But the reason, but back to the thing, there was a um he did a rally in California that he had some supporters after the speech, after everything was wrapped up. I think it was Coachella. There was after the speech, he went on his tour bus. They were bussed in. I think the supporters were bussed in, and then after that, Trump basically stranded them because they had to walk like about a couple miles back to the parking lot. No tour bus or anything. There was people. You could see at the rallies. Some people fainted. During a couple of them. During the town hall, there was a couple people that fainted, and Trump's like, I think we need to put some music on. Put Ave Maria. Like if it's making it any better. Sure, it's music, but he doesn't really apologize. He's not apologized for anything. He doesn't take accountability for anything. Hasn't taken accountability for January 6th. He denied it. Mike Lindell, the My Pillow salesman, he's with Trump, and I honestly liked My Pillow before his endorsement of Trump. I was wanting to get a My Pillow. I was thinking about it. Well, January 6th, he essentially influenced. His word did it. Yeah. He did influence it. Yeah, he encouraged it. He called the people that were arrested the January 6th hostages. And they're not hostages. They're people that fought on your behalf to overturn an election by breaking windows, by destroying furniture. See, there's a lot of people that are not covered on the political spectrum. They're mainly because they don't have much supporters, like the Libertarian Party and the Green Party. They're like third party candidates. But those are the main two, Republicans and Democrats. That's why I'm voting Democrat. Just mainly put country over party. Because the Project 2025, Donald Trump says he doesn't associate himself with it. But look, you have read both Kamala and Donald Trump's policies. You have to be ready to articulate clearly both sides in order to make an argument of stance against one side to favor the other. I do. I do have to do that, Fran. And thank you for pointing that out. See, because much what you saying doesn't really have a lot of substance, you have been really shown much here. Well, okay. You want me to show it? Here's a let's see. Besides point out your dislike over Trump on very meaningless things. Meaningless? I wouldn't say meaningless. See, of course, the January 6th. It's not, I didn't, besides that one, okay. Okay, I can prove this. I remember at a specific time when I was in high school, during Trump's presidency, he shut down the government because he didn't receive enough money for his border wall. Right. The shutdown stemmed from an impasse over Trump's demand for $5.7 billion from federal funds for a U.S.-Mexico border wall. That's some proof right there. Talk with that led to a shutdown. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. I just showed you the shutdown stemmed from an impasse over Trump's demand for $5.7 billion in federal funds for a U.S. Mexico border wall. When Trump said, "I'm gonna make there needs to be a wall. I'm gonna make a wall. I make a big wall, and Mexico's gonna pay for it." And this resonated with that, and he wants, and honestly, to be in my opinion, I feel like that was a waste because people can actually use planes. I don't want to show too much, or at least show. Okay, can you show the negatives of the shutdown? Did it have a lethal impact on the economy, knowing that There's evidence of substance. Finish. The negatives. There's a negative. It says that border, that shutdown, the negative. I understand that I need to prove it. There's a negative effect for it. It says here that it was the shutdown. The shutdown lasted 35 days. It says from midnight on December 22nd, 2018 until January 25th, 2019 was the longest government shutdown in history. And that is honestly bad, because you shouldn't shut down the government. I know I'm not formulated into negative to positive, and I'm thinking and saying all negative stuff about him, about the shutdown. I'm trying to formulate it as I can. I honestly don't want to get copyrighted with like videos, but I'll just show something here that resonates with the enemy within part, where I says here. All right, this is the captions for it, so I'm not gonna play the video. Trump said. I think the bigger problem are the people within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics, and I think they're the, and it should be very. And that thing that I just showed is basically negative about the enemy within. Well, I just showed the enemy within that he said on Fox News. And if you that he said the enemy within is basically, you know, radical left lunatics. And you see, you know, I know in professional politics that, you know, they fight over, they critique each other, but when you say by the National Guard to deal with the radical left lunatics, that's not politics. That's just trying to silence them. And like I just explained, like I just shown you, that Trump is a violent, a pathological liar. So he's trying to deny everything that he says. It is a power move, yeah. It is a power move. And honestly, a president shouldn't act like that. And see, This is just really... Oh, 1 second. I'm just trying to look for something here on his Truth Social. I know it's 3:14 in the morning. Right. Let's see. I'm gonna show you some Madison Square Garden stuff. So, see, the election is in a dead heap. It's a tie, basically deadlocked in the polls, basically neck and neck. Which, for what I've just shown you, see, somebody pointed out, Van Jones of the CNN panel said Trump's flawless and Kamala Harris has to be flawless, and Kamala is saying that without any guardrails, Trump is basically going to be... There's no one going to be stopping him if he makes the right choice or not. It's just his own choice. No one's going to stop him. And I appreciate you being here, Fran. I appreciate it. Trying to get... all years you try your best. Indeed, I do. I try to formulate stuff the best way I can. And the stuff that you'll get better. I just need to formulate myself. I know generally that you need when you get an essay, when you write an essay on something, you need a bibliography. I know about that. And practice does make perfect. I just need to comprehend it more and formulate myself for what I'm going to say. But, yeah, and the thing that points that it's how it affects me, in Virginia, my home state, right, where I'm living right now, said something about my governor, Glenn Youngkin, wanted to remove the non-citizen ballots from the vote count. And he's a Republican. He was on CNN, asked about the enemy within, and he tried to protect him, tried to cover for him and say like, oh, there's people, hold on. Basically said like, oh, that's referring to the people that are coming into this country, the illegal migrants. Huh. But there's one that honestly I can't even take him seriously with the point about when he said in the debate that in Springfield they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets. Springfield, Ohio, he means. And to back that up, in Springfield, Ohio, there was some stories. There was a story that there was, and schools had to be shut down. Schools had to be shut down because of those threats. Here's some stories here. Bomb threat for second consecutive day of school closures in Springfield, Ohio. Springfield schools stop closing for threats. Safety from state. Bomb threat in Ohio City. A national spotlight shuts down schools for. From what I read, it was true. Yeah, all these. And there was a story. See, Ohio is a red state. Ohio is a red state, and J.D. Vance is from there. And it all stemmed from him, actually. Something that I guess somebody said that J.D. Vance misinterpreted as, oh, illegal immigrants are eating the cats, or eating people's pets, or the neighbors. But and then it was later found out that the cat was fine. The cat wasn't eaten. There was and that lie. There was a Republican governor that said it wasn't true. Stop with the lies. Like the Ohio Republicans disagreed with J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump said, no, that's not true. Stop spreading the misinformation. You're causing panic. And then there's a Springfield police officer that, or a deputy. I'm gonna look if this is true to make sure I fact check. That much I don't know, since I have none research in it. That's fair. See, by doing research on that, and I kind of get news stories from my phone here, and yeah, I just kind of do this here, like here. What is it called? Stolen. Oh, there it is, right there. Here's this. Ohio sheriff suggests resident keep list of Kamala Harris yard sign addresses. From NBC News. So there was a sheriff that apparently wanted to take down, wanted to take note of the people that supported Harris. And you would think, from even like a police officer, they would know. Honestly, some police officers are corrupt, but but it says here, People ask me what's, he said, quote, the police officer, the sheriff in Ohio said this, quote, when people ask me what's gonna happen if the flip-flopping, laughing hyena wins, I guess that's referring to Kamala. I say write down all the addresses of people who had heard signs in their yards, so when the illegal human quote locusts, which she supports, need places to live, will already have the addresses of their new families who supported their arrival, the post said. And talk about conspiracy. Right there, that's conspiracy. That's conspiracy. Like, yeah. That was on Facebook. For a sheriff to talk like that, yeah. Should be worried about the criminals that they're gonna track down, not the people that support Kamala Harris. And just going along with it. See, the MAGA Republicans are basically really extreme people. The people that the Trump assassination attempts, the one in July, the person that shot at him with a sniper. Basically, he shot at his ear. I think it was actual like breaking news. It was like national news. I don't wish his death upon anyone. I don't wish any death upon anyone, even Trump. If he's when he's a convicted felon, he should be what's the word I'm thinking? Should be get sorry, it's really late. Should be feel the extent of the law. Should be served with the highest extent of the law, fullest extent of the law. That's what I'm saying. And should be treated like everyone else, but he's not. And that's wild to me. Like, there was like about 50,000 people that attended the January 6th rally before the riot. It was like 50,000 people. That was comparing to Kamala Harris's rally at Ellipse Park in DC. The same exact one. The same exact rally, the same exact spot that Trump spoke at. I'm gonna look at a good view of it so you can show how much people were there. Where's a good picture? Here's one. Here's a picture. That's a big rally right there. A massive crowd to DC. And see and it said that his DC rally voted in an astounding 75,000 people down the National Mall. 40,000 attendees were screened, and an estimated 20,000 more were gathered around the grassy slope next to the Washington Monument. An earlier event estimated about 20,000 attendees, but that number rapidly increased. That's wild, because 75,000 people at a rally in Washington D.C., the capital of the United States. And I read something somewhere that there was a article that the average attendance of a Trump rally is about 5,600, and Kamala Harris's rally is about like 12,000. And Elon Musk is kind of donating to people, doing this raffle that is saying like, oh, if you sign this petition, if I pick one singular like person, a random person out of the petition signers, you'll get a check for $1 million. A random person will get a check for $1 million. And you think that's illegal, right? You think that's illegal. The Department of Justice thinks so because Elon Musk needs to go to a hearing. A Pennsylvania judge, went into a hearing, summoned him to court, and because of the illegal, it says illegal, because the main preface of that petition was to at least just, the criteria is like, oh, you're registered to vote, you'll get a chance to win $1 million. And you can't give people away $1 million to a random petition. I mean, that's a sweepstake, but I don't think that's gonna go well in court. But here's something that I don't like about Donald Trump. Even further hate him. Influencing the polls by buying them out. That is illegal. Yeah. It is. It's pretty illegal. It's trying to that votes that is someone wanting to vote or register to vote, you would get a chance to win $1 million. But there's different statutes. There's this guy named Legal Eagle that went over Elon Musk's scam. Or alleged scam, to put it more, to appeal to both sides. But Trump, on the other hand, I don't know if you've seen this, but Trump tried to sell his own type of merchandise, trying to sell to people, trying to exploit his supporters with a Trump coin, with Trump shoes, with Trump trading cards, with a shirt with merchandise with his mugshot on it. I don't know if you've heard about that, but trying to sell his fame, trying to sell himself out there. What a businessman would do. But thank you for not giving up, putting effort in chatting, practice more, and work on your strengths. And I believe in you, and you will be a great speaker one day with the influence voice behind it. It'll take care, fella. I gotta go take care. You too, Fran. Thank you for helping me out in any way you can. Thank you. Probably at the 2-hour mark, I'm gonna stop. Okay. Wow. So, I'll just show you some of the I'll just show you. Let's see the Trump store. I'm just gonna visit it just for this research purposes. There's Trump hats, Trump sweaters, Trump tees. Trump t-shirts. A Trump New York ornament. There's a Trump coin, a gold watch, $100,000 gold watch, his name on it. That's just kind of stupid, really. Honestly. But for the people that will be watching later on, my message is to this. This is the compare and contrast moment. Kamala Harris will chart a new way forward by making sure no one's left behind, making America for all Americans, by trying to push for a nationwide price gouging law, a right for more reproductive rights, trying to reverse the effects of Roe v. Wade, trying to want to reverse everything that Trump had done, and Trump had a nightmare. Is basically an American nightmare, because he would try to send us back. The Project 2025 would send us spiraling out of control, because he wants a nationwide abortion ban, trying to get rid of the Department of Education, trying to abolish the Department of Justice with Trump loyalists that obey his every command, trying to make sure that everything goes his way, trying to get rid of stuff like the National Weather Service and NOAA, trying to monitor pregnancies, trying to force people to be married to each other. And at what cost? You're just going to alienate your followers, your supporters. See, it's just really stupid to do that to the American people. You were born in America. You should act like an American, but you're not. You're acting like a child. Stealing the election. Rigged election. No proof to back it up. The reason why Joe Rogan asked him, he said, "Are you going to show this evidence ever?" Referring to the 2020 election case. He said, "Oh, how about we do it another time? I'm going to show you the big bill of papers that shows, like, oh, there's a lot of proof. I'm going to show proof next time." That's not being honest. That's just escaping the inevitable and not letting you know yourself that you are not fit for president. And Joe Rogan is answered, just ask the questions, and Trump can't answer them. Tries to change the subject, talking about, listen to Kamala. Kamala has trusted people. Kamala is a good source. It's not about trying to divide us, trying to come together. In July, I thought that was going to happen after the first assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania on Donald Trump. There's going to be unity. But there is not going to be any unity. But that's also nothing new. There's a lot of propaganda of MAGA. Elon Musk is on his side and trying to get him in. Trying to run campaign ads, calling Kamala Harris the C word. Trying to exploit. Trump's trying to exploit his supporters into voting for him. Like Trump watches, Trump hats. This is the man that used to sell his own brand of steaks. And he said so. Okay, let me finish the Project 2025 thing. Project 2025, Donald Trump has said that he's not associated with Project 2025. But early in the year, in January, I think February, early this year, he praised the people behind it, the Heritage Foundation individuals, the main key figures of the Heritage Foundation. And if that doesn't say that you actually know about it, then you could Google Project 2025. That's his vision. And he's trying to lie his way out. He's a pathological liar. He's one of the biggest liars that the United States ever seen. And someone that lies like that, even so frequently, you would think that they would be jailed for that, inciting an insurrection. Trump says that is January 6th was a day of love. It is not. There was no love. And you said you were there for a speech. No. You said on Twitter that you were there to ride up your mob. You encouraged them to fight like hell. And they did your bidding. And the Jack Smith filings says and all that Trump and his allies were trying to pressure Mike Pence into not certifying the election results. Pence said no. Trump's trying to, but despite his denial to cooperate, Trump's still trying to pressure him in the days leading up to it. And he decided in the end to obey the Constitution. So, with me understanding that Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy. That is not propaganda. That is a fact. January 6th proved it. And Kamala Harris, oh, Elon Musk joked about why hasn't anybody tried to assassinate Kamala Harris? Why the fuck would you joke about that? Why wouldn't you say that? He's like, oh, I'm making an observation. Bullshit. You're just saying that to drum up some conspiracy. And he's just trying to get him in so he can get a tax cut, so he can receive that tax cut from him. He's a billionaire. He sells his own merchandise and his own campaign donors. He makes his living off of Truth Social too. Billions. It's just ridiculous. That's why I don't like him. He's a liar. And liars being one thing in the United States. But yeah. Also, my phone's about to die. So I'm going to wrap this up. For the people that are undecided, long story short, Donald Trump is the enemy. Kamala Harris is in bright light at the end of the tunnel. And we should vote for Kamala Harris because we're not going back. Thank you. And vote on Election Day or early this November. Thank you and have a good night.